Hey there! How's it going, everyone? We're glad to have you all here from around the world. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I told you. Missiles. I said it. Missiles. Squadrons of Israeli F-35 jets are heading toward Yemen, and London has launched a surveillance drone over Sana'a to track locations. The missiles of the Houthis, Ansar Allah, are back in the spotlight. The port war is heating up again, rising from the ashes, and the Houthis are once more targeting ships in the Red Sea. The UK has gone on high alert after strikes on Hodeida port, and Denmark's Pride, one of its top warships, has reportedly sunk in the Red Sea. A wave of Houthi leaks is now haunting the US Secretary of Defense, while Sana'a announces it's captured an Israeli spy. Meanwhile, Washington says the aircraft carrier USS Truman will be retiring. Tel Aviv has drawn up a new list of targets in Iran after failed negotiations, and Tehran has responded. We can turn Tel Aviv's nuclear reactors to rubble. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard claims to have hacked into Tel Aviv, exposing secrets about the Dimona reactors. Trump has warned, either there's a deal or there's fire. The heat of the revolutionary spring has reached California, separatist movements are back in the spotlight, and Trump is threatening to deploy the Marines to suppress the unrest. Armed gangs are popping up in the streets of Los Angeles, and the US is blaming Russia and the mafia for pushing toward nuclear war. NATO has announced it's preparing for a potential conflict with Russia. What's happening now between Sana'a and Tel Aviv could be the most surprising twist in the region. Despite the unofficial agreement between Washington and Sana'a, Netanyahu still sees the Houthis as his #1 enemy, and the Houthis feel the same way about Tel Aviv. This was confirmed by political and military analysts. According to Reuters, a source reported spotting large groups of Israeli jets, led by a refueling aircraft, heading east toward the Red Sea, a move that echoes the early stages of past US military campaigns. Meanwhile, the Houthi-led government in Sana'a released a report confirming it had detected US and British military movements around Yemen. It also mentioned that the UK had increased aerial surveillance using reconnaissance drones. The British Maritime Trade Operations Agency, or UKMTO, has urged ships near Hodeida port to exercise extreme caution. Earlier, Israeli Channel 2 reported that Ben Gurion Airport had shut down its airspace after detecting a hypersonic missile launched from Yemen, allegedly intercepted in Saudi airspace before reaching the atmosphere. The BBC also reported conflicting news about a commercial ship being attacked off the Yemeni coast near Hodeida. This is apparently the main reason behind the UK's renewed surveillance and espionage operations in Yemen. The Telegraph newspaper reported a disaster for the Danish government, with one of Denmark's best warships failing in the Red Sea, a serious blow, and according to Reuters, a lesson for the British Navy. Meanwhile, leaks about US airstrikes in Yemen remain a hot topic in Pentagon corridors. American media reported that the US Department of Defense's Inspector General is investigating Defense Secretary Hicks for a Signal app conversation on March 13th, just before the expanded airstrikes in April. Hicks blamed disgruntled former staff and the media for turning the Signal incident into what many are calling a scandal. Back in Sana'a, a senior military official revealed that a Yemeni spy, recruited by Israeli Mossad, had been caught during a security operation in an unnamed Arab country. Brigadier General Abdullah bin Amr, Deputy Director of Moral Guidance in Sana'a, explained that the man, a Yemeni citizen, had been working for Mossad and was tasked by the Knesset to recruit Yemenis and gather intelligence. Meanwhile, back in the Red Sea, the National Interest magazine reported that the USS Truman won't be deployed on any future missions. Instead, it's entering a long-term refueling and overhaul program after losing aircraft and undergoing leadership changes, meaning it's officially out of service for years, according to US sources. As for the US and Iran, it's hard to deny that Washington's concern about the Houthis is rooted in deeper fears about Tehran. According to Sputnik, Netanyahu had hoped Trump could shut down Iran's nuclear ambitions, something Biden failed to do. Now Tehran is making bold statements. Their foreign minister openly said that any attack on Iranian soil would push them to build a nuclear bomb. Iran's state media reported that the country has obtained thousands of extremely sensitive Israeli intelligence files, including top-secret documents related to Dimona's nuclear weapons program. The operation, reportedly carried out months ago by Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and the IRGC's intelligence agency, involved spies inside Israeli territory who retrieved and safely transported the data to Iran. According to the Washington Post, this is considered the biggest Israeli intelligence failure in history. The retrieved materials include documents, photos, videos, metadata, and other files. Just 2 weeks ago, Tel Aviv announced it had arrested 2 young Israelis in connection with espionage, but the implications run much deeper. 2 young men in their 20s, Roy Mizrahi and Ogias, accused of spying for Iran. Believe it or not, this Iranian infiltration isn't even the worst thing that's happened to Netanyahu's government lately. What the International Atomic Energy Agency just revealed is way more serious. The agency announced that Iran has conducted explosive tests as part of its path toward developing a nuclear weapon. Some of the findings are actually based on nuclear archives that Mossad had previously seized in a covert operation in Tehran. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi told the Jerusalem Post that Tehran warned him, if Tel Aviv strikes its nuclear facilities, Iran could be pushed to the edge. It might either build a nuclear weapon or pull out of the non-proliferation treaty altogether. He emphasized that Iran's nuclear program is deep, and its facilities are extremely well protected. Destroying them would require massive and precise firepower. This all came as Trump reached a dead end in negotiations with Iran. The news sent shockwaves through Tel Aviv. Trump declared, they will not enrich uranium, and if they do, Washington will have to act another way, implying a possible military strike. He added that the Iranians are masters at negotiation, and that America needs prayers for the talks to succeed. The Americans spring chaos in the United States. Back in the United States, many people can't sleep, either from anxiety or from the chaos. Political and military analysts are calling what's happening an internal coup. America's entered a spiral of disorder. Trump doesn't seem to be slowing down either. He warned that if the law isn't enforced in California, force will be used. He pointed to what he saw in Los Angeles: lots of violence and an incompetent state governor. If things escalate and it starts to look like a full-blown rebellion, Trump said the military will be deployed wherever needed. We will not let the country be torn apart, he said. At the same time, mounted police have started using force against protesters in Los Angeles. Trump's second term has been anything but quiet. The streets of Los Angeles have turned into a war zone, like a scene from a dark action movie. And now, the chaos is starting to spread to other United States states. Trump has ordered massive security operations targeting undocumented immigrants in California, especially Los Angeles. But the way it was carried out shocked everyone. Sudden raids with armored vehicles and heavily armed special forces storming stores and dragging people away in broad daylight. It was a scene Americans aren't used to. With around 70% of Los Angeles' population being of Latin origin, over half the city is now a potential target. Trump then ordered 1,000 National Guard troops into California without even consulting the state governor, citing an emergency situation. He even went so far as to openly threaten to send in the Marines if the unrest continues, a direct and serious challenge to state authority. Clearly, the unrest has taken a toll on Trump. In a déjà vu moment, the 78-year-old president lost his balance while climbing the stairs to a plane, just like Biden did before. And of course, Trump once mocked Biden for that. Let's roll the clip. Trump announced that a new travel ban on citizens from 12 countries is now in effect. The list includes Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, and Afghanistan, among others. Meanwhile, Russia is basically saying, let's go to war. The great power showdown is officially on the table. Trump's gamble to weaken NATO through economic pressure has apparently failed. According to Reuters, NATO's Secretary General is expected to say in a speech in London that the alliance needs a 400% increase in air and missile defense capabilities. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte also said that Putin is not acting like someone who wants peace. He accused Russia of bombing civilian targets night after night. Violence for the sake of violence, he said. NATO, for its part, is backing Trump's efforts for peace in Ukraine, especially since cheap Ukrainian drones have been taking out Russian tanks worth $2 million each. That's where the investment in tech really pays off. Now, officials are saying it's time to prepare for war. China is rapidly building up its military strength, and Russia is producing more weapons in 3 months than all NATO countries produce in a year. US. In a related development, US Senator Tommy Dabroval said that Ukrainian President Zelensky is trying to pull NATO into a direct conflict with Russia.